Hello everyone, it is again Season coming at you with another video, and today we are going to be talking about why Warzone needs to be broken away from the rest of Call of Duty. I'm not going to bore you with the whole, sorry I've been away thing. I have done that a million times, but for 2026 I'm going to hold myself accountable. If I'm not going to be consistently uploading, then I'll probably just retire from uploading in general. But yeah, today we're going to be talking a little bit about Warzone and kind of why there need to be some tweaks to the way Warzone and multiplayer work. So Warzone was introduced in MW 2019, and at the time, and people are going to say I'm crazy, but at the time people hated the MW19 multiplayer. People were bored of it. They kind of enjoyed the S&D, but when you really think about it, kind of like every Call of Duty, in its year, people hate on the multiplayer, and then as the game kind of fades away, they realized the game wasn't actually that bad. So this game was no exception, and then Warzone came out, and it absolutely blew up. It was up there with Fortnite in terms of the way it went 0 to 100. So in its peak, Warzone was like something I was playing with my high school buddies who don't even game that often. Getting invites from them saying hey, let's hop on Warzone was actually pretty incredible. And it really did carry MW 2019 and that whole time when we were locked away. I'm not going to say it or YouTube's going to suppress this video a little bit. But yeah, it was an absolutely massive innovation for the Call of Duty brand. The problem is, ever since then, there's just been more and more of a focus on Warzone, and it's taking away from the rest of Call of Duty, specifically the multiplayer, which, as much as people are going to say and hate on this, multiplayer is the backbone of Call of Duty. Warzone's great as a free-to-play mode. I think it needs to stay around, but its current inclusion is actually kind of a net negative on Call of Duty outside of player count. Warzone's now firmly a part of Call of Duty, and multiplayer is not really all of Call of Duty anymore. Back in the day, you were either playing pubs or competitive or zombies. Yeah, you would play the campaign, but you play through it once and you're kind of bored. But now, Call of Duty has Warzone and multiplayer and zombies and the end game. There are so many different things to Call of Duty, and the one thing that throws off the balance in multiplayer and competitive is Warzone. Warzone became the focus for so long that it's kind of like Call of Duty just threw all their eggs in one basket. They just wanted to make Warzone as big as possible, and we're kind of starting to see the repercussions of that and the ripple effect throughout the rest of the game as Warzone starts to die off a little bit. And before I have some Warzone players in the comments yelling at me, Warzone is by no means dead, but it's not quite at its peak like it once was, and I think even the most realistic of you are going to admit that. It ultimately killed the Pick 10 system, and this is where my real problem lies. The Pick 10 system is so much better for balancing and for the kind of fast-paced, short to medium range gunfights of a multiplayer competitive. Competitive really seems to focus on that short, medium, and your long range gunfights are nowhere near as long range as a Warzone. And that's where the gunsmith messes up. The gunsmith is made solely for Warzone. I don't think gunsmith fits into the multiplayer and competitive very well. I think it makes it way too complex. You have to do rocket science to find a build. There are a million TikToks and Twitter posts and YouTube videos talking about this is the best setup for this season of Call of Duty. And you have to copy that and just make this OP meta weapon because you can tweak the weapon so much with 18,000 barrels and magazines and stocks and ammo types and sights. There's just too much for what should be a pretty easy plug-and-play game. You think of the Pick 10 system. You had 3 to 4 perks, 2 to 3 attachments, and your sight was included in those attachments, and it just made your gun a little bit less overpowered, and it's easier to balance. Now, balancing's all off, which throws off the GAs in competitive, because this gun with these attachments is too good, so then they either GA a barrel on an AR, or they just GA the weapon entirely, and now, for the last however many years, we've had a 2-gun meta, which is the most boring thing for most competitive viewers like myself, and players. I don't mind it as much playing, but as a viewer, I miss the days like Black Ops 3. One reason that Black Ops 3 was criminally underrated in its year is you could use almost any gun in a competitive setting. Like, because of the Vesper and some other guns being nerfed, you didn't see those a lot, but you could use like half the guns in the game and they were viable and competitive. Granted, you had to be getting into the right kind of gunfights, but that was kind of part of the skill gap. You could get to those spots with your boost jumps and stuff. And in Infinite Warfare, we had a 3-gun meta. But ever since they added this whole gunsmith thing, it's just been the same 2 guns, and everyone's running the same 2 to 3 builds. And it's because there are a million different things so that you can turn your SMG into a laser beam that still ADS is fast and packs a punch. Or you can make your AR super mobile, but still have almost no recoil, and it's an AR, so hit your headshots and you're getting all of these kills. Gunsmith needs to get out of Call of Duty's multiplayer and competitive modes. And it's really only there because of Warzone. And it's tough because you don't want to neglect Warzone because Warzone has done so much good. It's probably boosting BO7 sales numbers quite a bit because people want to go and level their guns up there. It's a lot faster than doing it in Warzone, and it's kind of hard to play Warzone if you don't have kind of a meta build and consistently drop numbers. So I know they need to have it somewhat attached, but I would like to see Warzone be more like Call of Duty Online, the Chinese version of Call of Duty that has a bunch of historical weapons from all of the old Call of Duties, and it's kind of its own standalone game. I think we do need to get to a point where Warzone is standalone because it's starting to wear on the quality and the enjoyability of like competitive and multiplayer. I know some zombies players don't even like the whole gunsmith thing because it just seems a little bit boring that you can make your guns and zombies just absolute laser beams that do additional headshot damage and drop extra salvage and stuff. So I am very interested to see what you all would think. Please let me know down in the comments. Comment if you're mainly a Warzone player or like a competitive player or pub stomper or just a casual, and let me know what your thoughts are on this because I am really interested to get the opinion of my viewers for what they think is the correct way to handle this because I think my points are pretty valid, but I'm open to having my mind changed. So definitely let me know down in the comments. Drop a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. Again, 2026, I've got a lot of content coming up. Please do hop in my comments if I'm getting lazy and remind me that I need to get an upload out soon. But yeah, I'll catch you all soon with another video. I hope you enjoyed this one. Hopefully the audio's okay. I'm re-recording this because I am not going to put out a video with awful audio like my first try. But yeah, I hope you all have a good day, and I'll catch you very soon with another video. See ya.